Look around your room right now. How many things do you own that you used once, promised yourself you needed, and then completely forgot about? Every year, modern consumers spend thousands of dollars on products that promise to make them happier, smarter, or more productive. But within weeks, the initial thrill vanishes, leaving behind a lighter bank account and a room full of organized clutter. Why do rational, intelligent people repeatedly spend hard-earned money on things they genuinely do not need? It isn't a lack of financial discipline or poor self-control. In fact, neuroscience and behavioral economics reveal that modern marketing doesn't sell products. It targets vulnerable psychological loopholes built directly into the human brain. Welcome back to Sigma Intelligence. Today, we are decoding the hidden psychology behind impulse buying and exposing the cognitive traps that trick your mind into buying things you don't need. To understand why we buy things we don't need, we have to dismantle a common myth about dopamine. Most people believe dopamine is the chemical of pleasure, the high you feel when you finally own something new. But neuroscientists have proven that dopamine isn't released when you receive a reward. It is released in anticipation of the reward. When you browse an online store, add an item to your cart, or track a delivery, your brain surges with dopamine. The excitement lies entirely in the hunt and expectation. Marketing algorithms are deliberately engineered to exploit this mechanism. They create frictionless shopping experiences, one-click checkouts, instant notifications, and personalized recommendations to trigger rapid dopamine spikes before your rational prefrontal cortex has time to evaluate whether the purchase makes sense. The moment the package arrives and you open it, the dopamine surge drops back to baseline. The high is over, leaving you with a useless item and a subconscious urge to buy something else just to repeat the cycle. Have you ever bought a high-end journal thinking you'd start daily habit tracking, expensive workout gear assuming you'd transform your fitness, or complex books you never actually read? When you buy these items, you aren't paying for the physical object. You are paying for the fantasy of who you want to become. Psychologists call this the ideal self-illusion. Your brain treats buying the tools of a habit as a psychological substitute for actually building the habit. Purchasing a gym membership or high-tech equipment releases a quick burst of self-satisfaction, tricking your mind into feeling like you've already made progress. Marketers understand that people don't buy products. They buy upgraded versions of their identity. But when reality sets in and the hard work begins, the equipment ends up sitting in a corner, serving as a silent reminder of an unfulfilled fantasy. Why doesn't buying new stuff ever make us permanently happy? The answer lies in a psychological principle known as the hedonic treadmill. Human beings possess an extraordinary ability to adapt to changes in their environment, both positive and negative. This baseline is called emotional homeostasis. When you buy a luxury watch, a new phone, or a sports car, your happiness spikes temporarily. But within days or weeks, your brain recalibrates. The extraordinary becomes ordinary. What once felt like a luxury becomes your new baseline expectation. Because the happiness boost vanishes, you assume you bought the wrong item, leading you right back to the marketplace to purchase the next upgrade, forever running on a treadmill that leads nowhere. If you think your purchasing decisions are purely logical, consider how easily your brain succumbs to two primitive psychological triggers: scarcity and social proof. Manufactured scarcity, phrases like, "Only 2 items left in stock, limited time offer," or "Sale ends tonight," activate your brain's fear of missing out, FOMO. Scarcity triggers a threat response in the amygdala, making you feel that if you don't act immediately, you will lose a valuable opportunity. Social proof. Humans are deeply tribal creatures. When we see thousands of 5-star reviews or influencers using a product, our biological brain interprets it as a survival signal. If everyone else is acquiring this, it must be essential for my status and security. By combining artificial scarcity with social validation, retailers bypass your rational decision-making process entirely. The final psychological trap is our inability to calculate the true cost of ownership. When you look at a price tag, your brain evaluates the upfront financial cost. What it consistently fails to calculate is the downstream friction, the time spent organizing and maintaining the item, the physical space it occupies in your living environment, the mental tax of guilt every time you look at something you spent money on but don't use. Furthermore, the shift toward cashless systems, credit cards, and digital wallets has removed physical friction from spending. When you hand over physical paper cash, your brain registers a mild pain response associated with loss. When you tap a card or scan a phone, that pain signal is virtually eliminated, making spending effortless and detached from reality. The next time you feel a powerful urge to buy something new, pause and audit your mind. Ask yourself 3 critical questions. Am I buying the physical object, or am I buying the fantasy of an ideal self? Will this item still matter to me once the dopamine anticipation wears off? Am I acting out of logic, or responding to artificial urgency and marketing friction? True mental mastery isn't about suppressing your desires. It's about understanding the biological mechanisms driving them. When you eliminate impulse buying, you reclaim not just your money, but your focus, environment, and autonomy. What is one thing you bought recently that you realized you didn't actually need? Let's discuss it in the comments below. If this deep dive hit home, drop a like, share this video, and hit that subscribe button to join the Sigma Intelligence community. Thanks for watching and stay sharp.